Does anyone remember how cool Kim Possible was? I'm guessing everyone has at least heard of this show, if not for its funny moments and actual interesting story, then probably for its life-changing character design and catchy music. Listen, there's a lot of things I could say about this cartoon. It's something I really enjoyed watching as a kid, especially since it was just always on TV growing up. But sadly, and I have no idea why this is, when I was a kid, all my friends labeled Kim Possible as a girl show. It's probably because it starred a female character, which, like, okay. Who cares? Anyway, point is, I can never fully express my appreciation for the show back in the day, but now that I'm an adult, I don't care what Tyler from first grade thinks. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Kim Possible goes hard as fuck. Anyway, it actually has been a while since I last watched an episode, so that's what I'll be doing today. Is this show as entertaining as I remember it being? Will the comedy hold up? Is Shego still as bad as I remember? There's no better way to find out than to just shut my mouth and start watching. Side note, every source I can find says that Shego is at least 23 years old. So yeah, I don't want to make things weird. I just had a crush on her when I was a kid. That's all it is. Okay, it's not that deep, honestly. This episode is called Crush. This is probably a direct reference to Shego's thighs, but we'll get to that. Anyway, we start our adventure at Middleton High School. This is where we meet Kim Possible. She's the main character and a certified badass. Ron Stoppable. He's basically her sidekick and constantly gets friend zoned until like the end of season 3. And everyone's favorite character, Rufus.
What? Rufus!
Rufus is a naked mole rat who doesn't speak words, but somehow still managed to perform the hardest single of all time. Anyway, Kim and Ron are talking about the political climate of the world or something, when all of a sudden, Kim gets an error 404 message and stops functioning entirely. Turns out the reason for this is because she spotted Josh Mankey. He's your stereotypical hot high school kid from the mid-2000s. He's kind of oblivious and looks like the lead singer of a boy band or something. So Kim walks up to Josh and he actually recognizes her. Josh says that he saw a story about her in the newspaper, which, you know, reminds us that this movie was made in like the year 2000. Kim tries to actually speak to him, but she gets nervous and just stutters a whole bunch. This reminds me of every single X2C clip that I've ever seen. Anyway, Kim is stressing out now because the school dance is coming up and she tells Ron that she wants to ask Josh this year. Ron gets a little jealous of this because obviously he wanted to ask him himself, but he plays it cool and we get this scene.
So who are you going to ask?
For me to get a date? Who am I not gonna ask?
I promise you this clip is way more relevant than you think it is. But then, Kim gets a call on her special spy device, which is basically just a futuristic Game Boy with FaceTime on it. On the other end of the call is a guy named Wade. This is a pretty iconic character, honestly. He helps Kim with mission intel, advice, weapon upgrades, that sort of thing. But everyone knows his character as the guy in the chair.
Guy in the chair.
Anyway, Wade sends her an urgent mission located in Japan. And then in classic sidekick fashion, Ron gets excited by this and gives the viewer another reason to love him.
Hey, long distance. Tokyo! I love the French!
Ron is so good. He's such a good character. So the gang takes a private jet all the way to Tokyo, which is extremely bad for the environment, by the way. Come on, Kim. It's almost 2024. Don't make us put you on trending. The reason they're on a private jet is because there's the celebrity named Bettina, and she just owes them a favor for saving her show from a fire or something. I don't know. It's not really that important, to be honest. But what is important, though, is Ron takes this long flight to Japan as an opportunity to shoot his shot.
So, Bettina. Dance. You. Me. Average guy.
No.
Skipping ahead to Tokyo now, Kim and Ron arrive at the factory that needs help. Kim is getting some info on the situation. Turns out the entire building has just been taken over by evil bad guys, and all the workers inside are still being kept hostage. It's actually like a little more serious than I would have thought for a cartoon, but you know, fuck it, this is cool. But before they can try to save anyone, Ron realizes he's only on strike one and makes another move.
You know, I'm looking for a lucky someone to go to a dance with me.
No.
Anyway, so the gang has to sneak into the building for some reason. Kim being an expert obviously makes it look very easy, and Ron being the guy who's tagging along makes it look not as easy. They finally get inside the factory, which is when we meet Dr. Draken. He's Kim's arch nemesis. Think of Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb, except he's blue and sounds like he smokes cigarettes every 3 hours.
Cartoons make my eyes itch. Can't you switch that thing on?
Hold up, future Darzii here. I feel like I should mention that Dr. Draken is voiced by John DiMaggio. He's a super popular voice actor in cartoons. He's voiced Bender, Jake the Dog, Marcus Phoenix, King Zog, among many others. He's kind of the secret hidden gem of cartoons. Anybody who knows voice actors is gonna know this guy, but he's not really that known to the public. He just has a very distinct voice and he pulls it off really well. I thought it was important to mention. Also, I love him. So the plan here is for Ron to cause a distraction. I never would have seen that coming, while Kim delivers a sneak attack. And now's the time where this YouTube video gets a little spike on the progress bar, because we as the viewer are now introduced to Shego. Shego's basically Dr. Draken's muscle. She does all the fighting and stuff for him, and she's also probably the most popular character in the entire show, like even maybe above Kim. And it's probably just because of her big, massive cultural presence, you know? She's in rap songs, memes, inappropriate Reddit threads, you know, normal internet things. Anyway, Ron's causing his distraction, and Kim secretly unties the hostages. Turns out there's only 2 workers in this entire factory, by the way. I guess Japan really is years ahead of everyone else. Dr. Draken quickly catches Ron and reveals that he's an avid Twitter user.
You're cancelled.
Kim jumps in now and is ready to fight, but the bad guys actually have no interest in fighting her like at all. They hook up some machine to a helicopter and try flying away with it, but because Kim is basically a superhero, she puts her life at risk and jumps into— just kidding. She literally just watches them fly away without even attempting to stop them. Well, you know, at least she saved those 2 workers from earlier. That was good. We skip to the next day now and we meet Kim's dad. He's looking at the newspaper and reads an article on his daughter and what she did the night before in Tokyo. And it's here where I should mention the weird dynamic Kim has with like everyone in this universe. She's essentially a way cooler Black Widow, but no one ever really seems to give a shit. She doesn't hide her identity at all. She doesn't try to keep it a secret. Her parents don't seem to care at all about her risking her life. Her classmates still think she's some kind of nerdy loser. It's honestly like a little weird, but it's a cartoon, I guess. So she's still my goat. Anyway, we get a scene that goes on for way too long where the whole possible family is having breakfast. Kim's talking about her boy troubles at the school and all the men in the family are like, get over it. Her mom, however, tries to reassure her that everything will be okay. We then get a brief clip of Ron attempting his 3rd swing on asking someone to go to the dance with him.
This arm is going to the dance on Friday. Who wants to be on it? How about this arm?
Okay, well, yeah, you know. Anyway, Kim's practicing her cheerleading routine because she's a cheerleader. By the way, I forgot to say that. When her futuristic Game Boy rings and gets a call from Wade. Because of this distraction, every other cheerleader falls and gets severely injured, causing the nation's largest gymnasium accident since 1982. But seriously though, Kim and Ron just head to an undisclosed location to track down Dr. Draken. There's a bunch of snow everywhere, but they're driven by some guy who's speaking German, I think. I'm not sure if there's snowy mountains like this in Germany, honestly. I don't know, it could be Germany, I don't know.
Got any teenage daughters who might want to go to a big American dance party?
Nine.
The gang finds Draken's secret lair, but because there's a bunch of hidden sensor beams, Wade is forced to have his weekly Hackerman moment where he completes his 10,000 letter Word document speedrun at any percent. Anyway, it sounds like everything's gonna be smooth sailing, but Kim and Ron forgot one crucial thing. They forgot that Rufus not only has huge buck teeth, but he also has a massive dump truck of an ass. Because of this, Kim and Ron immediately get captured, so they're surrounded by these red, unnamed goons that just seem to like never stop spawning in. Kim basically says these mobs aren't worth her time, and she leaves to fight Shego, who's also there, by the way. Oh, look at that! Another spike. This leaves Ron alone to fight all the goons by himself, and now he's gonna die because he literally can't fight or do anything, honestly. It's weird how he even comes to these missions, to be honest. But Kim does throw him some special lip gloss that's actually some pass-out gas. So when Ron opens it, he clears the whole wave. What a lucky guy. We actually get this funny scene giving a short explanation on what this pass-out gas actually is, and I promise you none of you guys will ever see this shit coming.
What is this stuff?
Wade, I wish you'd stop taking your father's dirty socks.
Mom, I need those.
Kim is still fighting Shego now and is about to get sacrificed for the good of mankind, but luckily for her, Ron throws the lip gloss back, which makes Shego pass out like everyone else. But then, Dr. Draken finally shows up, and turns out he's been watching Code Geass because he's got a giant Gundam suit and plans on using it to take over the entire world. If only Lelouch were here, he could make him go to the soup aisle. Shout out to anyone who actually gets the reference. It's a good one.
I'm at the soup store!
Anyway, Kim and Ron are forced to run away because this robot is like fucking huge, right? They call up Wade and ask him for advice on what to do, but he's not much help, honestly. Kim eventually decides to just climb the robot, which makes it attack itself, giving Kim an opportunity to attack. You might recognize this scene from The Incredibles, kinda. It's basically the same premise. Note that this Kim Possible episode came out first, though, so again, you know, proving she's the GOAT. Because of the opening, Kim attaches her Game Boy to the robot, which gives Wade a chance to hack into it. Wade's doing his thing, so Kim just has to survive at this point until the whole robot shuts down. The problem is the robot's system is blocked by a password, and Wade has no idea what it could be. Kim is caught and has nowhere to go, so Wade really needs to guess this password correctly. When all of a sudden, the Japanese robot says, "Konnichiwa," and this happens.
Do not have time for this.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Yep, that's the password. Listen, it's still a good show, okay? So Wade is hacked into the robot now and has full control of it. Draken gets got, but Shego comes back and makes one more attempt to take control of the robot. Her and Kim fight in a 1v1, and eventually the robot malfunctions or something, and the entire robot just falls and breaks. Draken and Shego are put in jail, and the day is saved. We then skip back to the school when this entire school dance storyline finally reaches its conclusion. Kim finally approaches Josh and asks him to the dance, and Josh just says, yeah, sure, why not? Again, you probably would have thought Kim ended up with Ron, but Not yet. The episode ends with Kim enjoying her night with Josh and Ron being stuck in a closet the whole night or something. I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Somebody let me out! Come on! I'm a Bob Diggity Dancer!
And that's it. That was Kim Possible. I know it's not for everyone, but I'm really happy I finally covered the show because I just really like it for some reason. Is it the funniest? No. Has it aged the best? Not really. But that's okay because most cartoons have some issues and people usually don't give a shit about those. I even asked a friend of mine what he thought about it and this is what he had to say. I have a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
What do you think of Kim Possible?
I think she's hot as fuck, and she's your number one bae. Like, what do you mean?
What about Shego? Do you know who Shego is?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's fine, I guess. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Watch my other videos. I have a whole playlist of cartoons. Become a member if you want. It really doesn't matter. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all the cringe stuff. Paul Abdul scores this one a solid 5 naked mole rats out of 5. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Konnichiwa.
You're cancelled.
Well, I love the French.